family members, as the entire family had over 10 people living there, plus more than a dozen servants, totaling over 20 people living together. This was why such a large mansion was necessary. The Li family was a century-old aristocracy in Hong Kong, having started in real estate and also investing significantly in Hong Kong stocks, benefiting from the dividends. Thus, the wealth accumulated over generations resulted in their current worth. In fact, many prominent and influential people in Hong Kong relied on wealth accumulation over several generations. This was why they were referred to as the Hong Kong aristocracy. In Hong Kong, very few people could start from scratch. Because of this, Qin Fei's ability to build his fortune from nothing earned him great respect from the Li family. Yifan Youngyi, looking at the Li family's mansion, felt it wasn't that impressive. Smiling, she closely accompanied Qin Fei, looking around the villa, and couldn't help but say, "Cousin, although the Li family's villa is big, it still can't compare to ours. I believe in your strength. You will definitely surpass the Li family and buy an even better and larger villa." Yang Yi looked at him with hopeful eyes. Qin Fei smiled back, his eyes filled with confidence. Just then, the second young master of the Li family happened to come downstairs. Li Xiao, now over 20 years old, was managing the Li family's real estate business in Hong Kong. His capabilities were not much inferior to those of the eldest son, as he had always aimed to compete for the family's assets. The infighting among the aristocracy was indeed serious. Upon seeing him, Li Xiao approached with enthusiasm, as if they were longtime friends rather than just meeting. "Mr. Qin, I've heard a lot about you from my father. He often mentions you, saying that you are the only one in Hong Kong who can rise from nothing to achieve what our family has accomplished. In just a few days, you managed to buy several luxury villas in Hong Kong. I believe your net worth has already surpassed 10 billion Hong Kong dollars. He laughed heartily, displaying a cheerful demeanor that belied his age, and moved closer, full of flattery. Unlike the cynical Li De Gongzi, Qin Fei responded calmly, "Even if I have 10 billion, I still can't compare to the first family in Hong Kong, the Li family." Li Xiao shook his head seriously and said, No, Mr. Qin, you don't understand. Even for our Li family, coming up with 10 billion Hong Kong dollars is not easy. Our family has assets exceeding 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars. But the actual cash available for circulation is only about 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. Currently, due to losses in the Hong Kong stock market, we can only access less than 50 billion Hong Kong dollars. Yang Yi's face was filled with astonishment. She had never expected that the leading Li family in Hong Kong could only access 50 billion Hong Kong dollars in cash. And Qin Fei, with over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars, was truly impressive. Once again, she felt that her cousin was extraordinary, definitely comparable to the Hong Kong aristocracy. Qin Fei understood that the other party was half flattering and half trying to curry favor. He smiled and said, "If your Li family needs money, you could easily sell a few luxury villas to raise quite a bit of cash, even if you can't sell at full price. Surely you can sell them at half price?" Li Xiao chuckled, not saying much more, but leaned in closer and whispered, "Mr. Qin, you must have over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars in cash by now, right? With your strength, collaborating with our Li family could completely disrupt the Hong Kong stock market. If our Li family were to come up with a few hundred billion Hong Kong dollars, combined with your hundreds of billions, we could pool nearly 1 trillion Hong Kong dollars to short the Hong Kong stock market. What do you think?" It was clear he had grand ambitions. With the Hang Seng Index in turmoil, he anticipated that it would continue to decline. Many Hong Kong stocks would likely fall below their bottom lines. Thinking about shorting the Hong Kong stock market and wanting to collaborate with him, Qin Fei didn't directly agree. He smiled lightly and casually said, "Right now, many people in Hong Kong are hoping for the Hang Seng Index to recover. Even though it's already at 12,000, there's still those buying the dip. Who knows? One day it could rise back to 19,000. Shorting it now might lead to significant losses." Li Xiao shook his head, his expression serious. 12,000 is definitely not the lowest point. It could continue to fall. It's a pity my father doesn't believe it. Our family has already lost over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars by trying to buy the dip, and he still hasn't realized it. With a face full of regret, he mourned for his family. His insight was commendable, but as the second son of the Li family, lacking power as a rich second generation, He couldn't change the family dynamics. His older brother was even more cynical, but despite this, the family assets were still inherited by the eldest son. He felt unwilling and could only keep fighting for family assets. However, internal strife within aristocratic families was not so easily navigated. After chatting a bit, Qin Fei understood that there was a lot of overt and covert competition among these aristocratic families, and the other party was trying to pull him to oppose his brother. He didn't speak up, as he didn't want to get involved in the Li family struggles. Under the servant's guidance, he sat down on a nearby sofa, pulling Yang Yi to sit beside him. After a while, Li Chaoren arrived with Li Degongzi. The most interesting part was that Li Degongzi, after glancing at his brother, chose to ignore him and quickly focused on Qin Fei, immediately approaching him. "Ha, Mr. Qin, after our last outing at the bar, many people wanted to have me introduce you. When can we go to the dance hall again? I know a few places that are really fun." Yang Yi became curious and looked at him with interest. "What dance hall? I want to go too. Cousin, take me next time." She began to act cute towards Qin Fei, which Li Degongzi noticed and flattered her as well. "Miss Yang, I've already seen the trailer for your movie. Your first film is a collaboration with King Lu. That's really rare in Hong Kong. Miss Yang is truly one of a kind in the Hong Kong entertainment industry." It seems Mr. Qin is genuinely attentive to Miss Yang. When the upcoming movie was mentioned, Yang Yi's spirits soared, and she looked very happy, closely grabbing Qin Fei's arm. Proudly, she said, This is all thanks to my cousin's help. That King Lu is really nice. He provided me with great guidance during our collaboration. We even exchanged contact information, and he said if I ever need, I can come to him for a supporting role." Young Master Lier took the opportunity to speak up. "That's all thanks to young Master Qin. If it weren't for him, King Lu wouldn't treat newcomers this way. Miss Yang, your current status is truly inseparable from young Master Qin." Yang Yi certainly understood this, so she felt even more grateful to Qin Fei. The conversation between young Master Li De and young Master Lier was heard by Qin Fei, who felt that these two wealthy young masters were indeed impressive. They were less than 10 meters apart, yet they talked about him while completely ignoring each other. This is the world of Hong Kong's wealthy families. Li Chaoren watched this and pretended not to see it. He certainly couldn't say anything about the internal struggles of Hong Kong's wealthy families. Right now, he only cared about one thing and said to Qin Fei, "Mr. Qin, wait a moment, I want to introduce someone to you. This person you must have seen before. You should know who they are." Qin Fei already knew who it was, and his eyes brightened. "Oh, Sir Xiao is here too?" Li Chaoren laughed heartily and made a phone call to inquire where Sir Xiao was. Sure enough, in less than 10 minutes, Sir Xiao came to visit the Li family. This was the second time meeting Qin Fei. The last time was during the property purchase, and this time it was at the Li family's gathering. Sir Xiao looked at Qin Fei a few more times, paying even more attention to him. "Sir Qin, you should have met this young man. He is quite young, and his bank deposits in Hong Kong have already exceeded 10 billion Hong Kong dollars. With bank deposits over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars, not to mention his fixed assets." Hearing Li Chaoren's words, Sir Xiao was slightly surprised. He truly didn't expect this young man to be so impressive. No wonder he talked about the TVB company. Upon encountering Sir Xiao, Qin Fei stood up and took the initiative to greet him, extending his hand with a calm expression. "Sir Xiao, we meet again. It's a pleasure. I wonder how the shares of TVB are performing lately. Have you considered the matter we discussed last time? I would be very willing to take over some TVB shares." Upon hearing Qin Fei's words, Sir Xiao looked embarrassed and sighed. It was clear that TVB shares had recently dropped significantly, heavily influenced by the Hang Seng Index. It seemed that this era in Hong Kong was no longer mine, but rather the era of these talented young people. He took a look at Qin Fei and couldn't help but sigh, realizing that he was getting older. Chapter 40. The TVB acquisition plan begins. Qin Fei was the first to speak, while Sir Xiao remained silent. After all, TVB was his old asset. Even if he were to incur significant losses, he would never sell it. He intended to leave this old asset to the next generation. So how could he possibly sell it? Knowing this, Qin Fei chose not to press further to avoid a potential fallout. In fact, even if Sir Xiao truly wanted to sell, he wouldn't have the funds available. With TVB shares dropping, it would take at least 1,000 billion Hong Kong dollars to buy them out. Currently, Selling his holdings in Matai would only net him about 16 billion Hong Kong dollars, not even reaching 20 billion. Even if the other party wanted to sell, he couldn't afford it. He merely wanted to gauge how much value Sir Shao placed on TVB shares. Seeing the serious expression on the other party's face indicated that he indeed cared a lot. Even if TVB shares were to drop by 50, it was unlikely that he would sell. He would definitely hold onto them tightly, which posed a problem as it would affect Qin Fei's progress in acquiring TVB shares. Li Chaoran approached with a smile, unable to resist engaging in conversation. Mr. Qin, what do you think of the Hang Seng Index lately? It's at 12,000 now. What's the lowest it could go? He asked. According to our thoughts, it should drop to around 10,000. Upon hearing this, Li Chaoran's eyes lit up. If we buy in around 10,000 points, we might make a significant profit. Once this financial crisis in the U.S. is over, the Hang Seng Index will see a substantial increase. What do you think? Qin Fei shook his head and replied, the minimum drop for the Hang Seng is uncertain. It's too challenging to buy in at 10,000 points. Even if the stock god came, it wouldn't be successful. Li Chaoran flattered him, Mr. Qin is even more formidable than the stock god. You've defeated Buffett twice and even received an invitation to dine with him. You could say Mr. Qin is truly the best in Huaxia. The intelligence from the Li family was indeed sharp, and what was said caught Sir Shao's attention. He inquired with interest, oh, young man, I didn't expect you to have the opportunity to dine with the stock god Buffett. Haha, very good. This time, Brotherly brought me here to discuss buying into the Hang Seng. If you really have the strength, I can invest a bit. This was clearly a repeat of the last time, where he invested in himself and made a good profit. This time, the other party planned to team up with Sir Shao to buy into the Hang Seng. However, Qin Fei had no intention of buying in. For him, it was not a big money-making opportunity. His real goal was to drive down TVB shares. But how could he get Sir Shao to voluntarily lower his TVB shares and drive down the Hong Kong stocks? It was simply impossible. Therefore, this collaboration would not materialize at all. Qin Fei smirked and calmly said, Mr. Li, we're not on the same path. It's difficult to reach a consensus. To be frank, buying into the Hang Seng is very hard. Starting at 10,000 points could lead to losses. However, if we drive down the Hang Seng and short the Hong Kong stocks, that could work. After saying this, he glanced at Sir Shao not far away. Sir Shao's expression changed. TVB was a significant player in the Hong Kong stocks. His RVB absolutely could not drop if the Hang Seng fell. It would affect TVB shares at any moment. With a grim expression, he said, shorting the Hang Seng is simply impossible. My TVB is currently struggling to maintain a share price of 80 Hong Kong dollars. In a few days, it might warm up to 90 Hong Kong dollars. I can't just abandon TVB shares to drive down my stock. Indeed, no matter how much money could be made from shorting, the other party would care about TVB shares, preferring to incur losses than to let TVB rise. That was the essence of the matter. He came here merely to have Qin Fei stabilize the Hang Seng, not to short it and profit from his TVB share price. With an unpleasant expression, he showed signs of displeasure. Qin Fei shrugged his shoulders and calmly said, As I said, our paths are different, Mr. Li. It seems this investment collaboration is impossible. Sir Shao is unwilling to lower his TVB shares while expecting me to stabilize and raise the Hang Seng. That's also not possible, so let's not discuss it further. Li Chaoran fell silent, not expecting Qin Fei to be so unwilling to raise the Hang Seng. Meanwhile, the price of Sir Shao's TVB shares was closely related to the Hang Seng Index, and the two were fundamentally at odds. He realized that bringing them together was a mistake. The conversation turned sour, and Sir Shao had matters to attend to, so he took his leave. Qin Fei also did not plan to linger any longer. Understanding Sir Shao's thoughts, he had to consider how to drive down TVB shares. Without even staying for a meal, he left with Yang Yi. The two left promptly, and the originally lively Li family gathering dispersed just like that. Li Chaoran sighed, truly unsure of what to do. He was very willing to accompany Qin Fei in driving down the Hang Seng to earn a profit, but he did not dare offend Sir Shao. Sir Shao was also a well-known figure in Hong Kong. If he invested with Qin Fei to short the Hang Seng, and Sir Shao found out, their friendship would surely be severed. His expression was filled with conflict. Now, he could only do nothing. as they drove away from the Li family. Yang leaned closer, gently asking, "Cousin, why didn't you help Sir Xiao? Are you really planning to acquire TVB?" Yang guessed that Qin Fei's target was indeed TVB shares. She had heard of TVB's reputation, and, as a mainlander, she very much liked the old TVB dramas. That was the peak era of Hong Kong dramas, producing many famous series. She had many favorite genres under the TVB banner. And now Qin Fei unexpectedly wanted to acquire TVB, even having an unpleasant encounter with Sir Xiao. Qin Fei smirked casually. It's impossible to get Sir Xiao to sell TVB himself. He sees TVB as his old asset. Therefore, if I can't acquire it from him, I can only target the Hong Kong stockholders. He personally holds about 30 of TVB shares, and the Hong Kong stockholders hold another 50. At this point, Qin Fei smiled. With 30, one can become the chairman, and if I acquire 50, I would have the ability to be elected chairman directly. By then, even if Sir Xiao doesn't want to sell, he won't have a choice. Yang Yi suddenly understood, looking at him in surprise. "So, cousin, you want to short the Hang Seng because you want to short TVB. Sir Xiao won't let TVB shares drop, which is why you're unhappy." Qin Fei nodded, praising her. "Smart. But now I have limited funds. To short TVB, I'm still lacking a bit of capital." While he pondered how to attract investment, a phone call came in, clearly from the second son of the Li family he had spoken earlier. It was a call made behind his father's back. Once the call connected, the other party enthusiastically said, "Young Master Qin, you want to short TVB? I'm willing to help you invest. Through my mother, I can mobilize at least 20 billion Hong Kong dollars in assets, and I'm willing to collaborate with you." Qin Fei became interested and laughed. "Oh, young Master Li, aren't you afraid of your father finding out? If he knows, it would offend Sir Xiao, and he will surely scold you." Young Master Li was not worried at all. After all, he knew that shorting TVB would definitely earn him a significant profit. After all, being scolded by his father was nothing compared to the cash he could gain. Young Master Qin, compared to making tens of billions of Hong Kong dollars in profit, getting scolded by my father is nothing, he said, feeling it was a fantastic deal. Qin Fei smiled and readily agreed. "All right, give me 20 billion Hong Kong dollars and I'll give you 3 billion Hong Kong dollars as a reward. We will sign a private contract then." The other party immediately became happy and went to arrange their assets. "Okay, young Master Qin, give me half a day, and I'll go gather the funds now. By then, it will be transferred to your account." With the 20 billion from the second young master of the Li family, plus his own 16 billion Hong Kong dollars, that totals 36 billion Hong Kong dollars. With a leverage of over 10 times, it can amplify to a capital force of 360 billion Hong Kong dollars. It definitely has the strength to pry into the hardest TVB stocks in Hong Kong. From over 100 Hong Kong dollars, it dropped to 80 Hong Kong dollars. The shares of TVB are indeed solid. You have to know that during the 2008 financial crisis in Hong Kong, many company stocks plummeted from 1,000 Hong Kong dollars to 100 Hong Kong dollars, a shrinkage of 90. Only those that drop 10-20 are considered resilient. Qin Fei's goal is to let it drop by more than 50. And breaking below 40 Hong Kong dollars is key. Raising his head, his expression was serious. "I must acquire TVB. I want to give Qin Yao a surprise. She wants to be a TV host, so I'll give her the whole TV station." Qin Fei's words made Yang Yi envious. She truly envied Qin Yao's position in Qin Fei's heart. She knew that the acquisition of TVB and opposing Sir Xiao was entirely because of Qin Yao. No one can replace Qin Yao's place in Qin Fei's heart. Even she, a well-behaved and obedient cousin, could not. So she was indeed extremely jealous and looked at Qin Fei with admiration. To dare to challenge Sir Xiao. There are not many in Hong Kong who have such strength and courage. Usually, those who do this are either madmen or geniuses. And Qin Fei clearly belongs to the latter. After driving home, he contacted the Li family again, finalized the contract with the second young master of the Li family, and received the 20 billion Hong Kong dollars transferred over. His bank account had 36 billion Hong Kong dollars, and the bank manager was handling various procedures and contracts with the Li family for him. Even the bank manager in Hong Kong called to check on him because he is one of the wealthy individuals with significant deposits in Hong Kong. "Mr. Qin, 36 billion Hong Kong dollars has already been credited to your account. I've upgraded your account level to black gold. Our bank will send gifts to your residence every month. And we have several credit cards with a limit of 10 million that we would like to give you. Qin Fei agreed. Send them to my villa when the time comes. I'll use them for my sister and cousin. Just help me process 3 cards. The bank manager promptly complied. And Qin Fei also helped him find a brokerage to start with 10 times leverage to speculate on TVB shares, aiming to drive down the stock price and acquire the TVB shares from shareholders. Chapter 41. Financial capital lacks humanity. Sir Xiao did not want to sell, so there was no way to buy. He had to force the other party to sell their shares in TVB. His Princess Qin Yao plan could not just fall through. It was essential for Qin Yao to become the Princess of Hong Kong and acquire TVB shares. In his previous life, he had been eyeing TVB, and in the end, TVB was still sold. However, that was years later, but even so, TVB remained robust, generating significant income, and its stock price was quite stable. This further reinforced his belief that he had to acquire it. When he returned, Qin Yao had already finished school. In a good mood, she had arranged to go out with a few classmates. Seeing Yang Yi, she happily said, "Sister baby, I heard your movie is about to be released. Let's go to the cinema to watch it together. I haven't seen a movie in a long time, and I want to check out that first cinema in Hong Kong." Yang Yi smiled and replied, "Sure, cousin will go with us." Since the 2 girls wanted to watch a movie, Qin Fei was naturally willing to accommodate them. As Qin Yao was about to go out with her classmates, he handed her a credit card with a limit of 100 million Hong Kong dollars, calmly saying, "This card has a limit of 100 million Hong Kong dollars. It will be deducted from my bank account later. You could buy anything you want." Qin Yao was stunned when she received the credit card, not expecting such a high limit. Overjoyed, she tiptoed and gave Qin Fei a quick kiss on the cheek, happily taking the credit card and heading out. "Brother, thank you. I'm going to have fun. Let's go watch a movie together another day." With that, she left. Watching Qin Yao leave, Qin Fei thought he must help them buy a car. His gaze fell on Yang Yi. Calmly, he said, "What kind of luxury car do you like? I'll order one from the dealership. It will be more convenient for you to drive around in the future. From now on, you are a big star, and I'll also help you find a female assistant and a female manager." Yang Yi's eyes lit up, and she clung to him, smiling. "Sure. I like Ferraris. Cousin, can I buy a Ferrari that costs a few million HKD?" Looking at her with anticipation, Qin Fei had no hesitation. A few million HKD was just a small amount to him. Nodding, he suppressed his laughter, which made Yang Yi happy enough to kiss him on the cheek again. With one kiss on each cheek, Qin Fei was a bit speechless, watching Yang Yi giggle. He thought that despite being a big star, she acted like a little girl in front of him. This must be her letting her guard down around him. No matter what he did, this obedient big star little cousin would not refuse. However, he didn't want Yang Yi to be bullied, so it was necessary to find a few female assistants and bodyguards, and they had to be young women. Additionally, a female manager would help plan future events. This meant he needed to hire more staff, and he didn't plan to recruit in Hong Kong, but rather from the mainland. The salaries in the mainland were lower, and offering a monthly salary of 10,000 HKD would attract many willing candidates. Hiring more capable talents would also be an investment in the mainland, earning him the title of a friendly investor in Hong Kong. This would also help solve employment issues in the mainland. With this in mind, Qin Fei made a call to Zhao Liang to help recruit some staff to assist Yang Yi, since they needed to travel between the mainland and Hong Kong. They had to be young, single women. He didn't think too much about it. These were just standard configurations for a big star. He certainly didn't want to find any male assistants for Yang Yi. That was out of the question. Yes, young single women are preferred, and they must meet a certain standard of looks, starting with a monthly salary of 10,000 HKD, with base salary calculated separately. Given Yang Baby's current fame, she could be considered a second-tier star, so hiring according to the standards of second-tier big star was appropriate. A film collaboration with Liu Tianwang would certainly elevate Yang Yi to the level of a second-tier actress. With some marketing, moving up to first-tier status would just be a matter of days. Staffing needed to be arranged properly. Zhao Liang readily agreed and immediately went to help Qin Fei with the arrangements. Meanwhile, during this downtime, Qin Fei didn't forget to check today's Hang Seng Index trends. Pulling Yang Yi into the study, they engaged in various intimate actions while checking the Hong Kong stock situation. TVB shares were his primary focus, now at 85 Hong Kong dollars. Today, there was a small increase of 5. Even this modest 5 increase placed it firmly among the top 3 in Hong Kong stock performance. A 5 increase was the highest, indicating just how severely the Hong Kong stocks had dropped. Qin Fei's plan was to short TVB shares, checking his bank account with 36 billion Hong Kong dollars. He decided to pull out 30 billion Hong Kong dollars first. He intended to short sell when it was at 85 Hong Kong dollars, starting with a 10x leverage to short sell. Then he predicted the stock price movement of TVB, analyzing all movements before the market closed. He had to admit that TVB stock was stable, with a minimum lot size of 500 Hong Kong dollars, consistently hovering between 85 to 87 Hong Kong dollars, and it was difficult to break below 85 Hong Kong dollars. The 2008 financial crisis had no impact on it, demonstrating the resilience of TVB, a century-old brand. It was impossible for a mere financial crisis to take it down. Just as one would not expect the financial crisis of the 20th century to take down companies like Tencent and Alibaba, it was simply impossible. The financial crisis primarily impacted small and medium-sized enterprises, with little effect on large corporations. Even online, there are people continuously praising TVB's stability. Yang found a few articles praising it and showed them to him. Cousin, TVB shares have recently warmed up. I see many people holding on to TVB shares, and a lot of them believe it will rise again. Not many people are selling. It has the highest holding rate. That's right, there is not much trading volume, making speculation even harder. Everyone is holding on to their stocks, and no one intends to sell, making it more difficult to operate. But Qin Fei was not worried. Checking the predicted trends, a smile appeared on his lips. Without trading volume, I will create trading volume. This is a common tactic in finance. Besides insider trading, there's also false trading. At that time, he would pay a transaction fee of about 10 million Hong Kong dollars to conduct false buy-sell transactions, increasing the trading volume without anyone knowing. Of course, this was indeed illegal, but financial capital would sell out humanity for a 20 profit, and this could achieve 50 or even over 100 profit. What was humanity worth? They could even sell people. With over 10 million Hong Kong dollars, Qin Fei could complete the fake transactions. He called the bank to have them contact several brokerage firms to conduct the false operations. Qin Fei began by buying and selling TVB shares at 85. 8 Hong Kong dollars. That is 580 Hong Kong dollars per lot, buying at 85. 8. Selling at 85. 7. Buying at 85. 7. Selling at 85. 6. Continuously repeating this arbitrage was intended to drive the price down, consuming transaction fees. Using the method of buying with one hand and selling with the other to push TVB shares below 85 Hong Kong dollars. As long as it dropped below 85 Hong Kong dollars, there would certainly be good drama to watch. After executing several trades, TVB shares fell below 85 Hong Kong dollars. Qin Fei refreshed the Hong Kong forum, and immediately people started discussing the significant trading of TVB shares. Many seasoned investors and experts began to analyze it. A Hong Kong stock market investor of 20 years said, "There's been a lot of fluctuation in TVB shares. I suspect that there is insider information. Someone knows that the stock price will drop today, and many are selling off in advance." Wang Securities Trading Company. I'm sure this is definitely a sign of TVB's decline. The drop in TVB has likely started, and it might fall below 80 Hong Kong dollars. Those holding TVB stocks must sell. Veteran trader with hundreds of billions. TVB can't remain strong forever. This large amount of trading now is a signal for TVB's decline. Seeing these discussions, Yang beside Qin Fei couldn't help but chuckle. Cousin, these people are really interesting. You sell with your left hand and buy with your right. And they all fall for it, really thinking that insider information about TVB is causing the stock to drop. Wow, look, TVB stock has dropped from 85 to $80. And many people have started selling at 8,000 Hong Kong dollars per lot. Indeed, it's because he is disrupting the market, causing panic. Many people have begun to sell at 8,000 Hong Kong dollars per lot. Some people are genuinely anxious. Originally, the Hang Seng Index fell from 13,000 to 12,000. The volatility of Hong Kong stocks is too great. Many stocks have double leverage, and a 5 drop translates to a 50 loss. If it drops by 10, some people will go bang